So why is that relevant? What was I just talking about? Oh yeah. So when Dylan, my ex, my husband at the time, who I had spent 5 years in a relationship with, was released, I was selling renewable energy. I was also selling content and other things, sunglasses, waist trainers, etc., and so forth. I was also applying to a ton of jobs. I also had active resumes out there and always have, on and off, mostly on since 2015. So in addition to doing my own self-employed stuff, I would get jobs staffing trade shows, staffing other events, working trade shows as a brand ambassador, merchandising, doing quality assurance and quality control. Sorry, I'm just stretching, you guys. Don't mind me while we have this convo. Just a little peer-to-peer convo here. So I've never in my life had a problem finding employment because it's like this. Put my fucking money where my mouth is. Well, guess what? I can. I'm a medical assistant. I'm a phlebotomist. I'm a fitness instructor. I'm a personal trainer. I'm a medical administrator. I have done administrative assisting and secretary work for C-level executives in huge companies. I've done private entertainment. I've done public entertainment. I've done content sales. I've done marketing. I've done sales. So there's so much that I'm good at, genuinely good at. I've done entertainment, like as far as TV, radio, podcasting. I've done all of that. So again, it's just highly suspicious to me that with all that experience and all of the effort I've put forth into not only my own self-employment endeavors, but obtaining employment that will allow me to support myself and my 3 children without having to engage in anything, extra if I didn't want to, but doing so to, create a cushion of wealth underneath us is my ideal. They, over and over, you guys, since 2019, continue to take active measures at silencing me, not allowing my experience to be heard, or the people who do hear it, and don't know what to do with it, discredit me. And it's like obscene. How do you look at a woman that you know for a fact has been raped and say that she's probably lying just because politically it'll help you? Like, you are awful. This is so disgusting to me. And, as we sit here and I look at everything now, all the jobs I've applied to, none of them have called me back. During a blizzard, when I was at the Montclair apartment, maybe 3 months prior to my unlawful eviction, I moved in there on New Year's Day. I was unlawfully evicted April 1st with a lease and rental receipts in my hand. So again, it's a very confusing situation. In December during blizzard season, January during blizzard season, with no snow boots, in dresses, skirts most of the time, with like boots and nylons and like long coats with extra sweaters. And I'm on foot going all around the fucking city, applying in person and online for employment in all these various industries: nightlife, bartending, hospitality, housekeeping, administrative assisting, business, office management, doctor's offices, hospital, healthcare systems, all of which I'm far overqualified for. And I'm presenting myself with resumes, with letters of recommendation, with video testimony, with professional modeling portfolios, with so much. And I still to this day have heard back from none of those people. And I'm using a Google Voice number that never changes. It's always on. So, I don't understand how it's possible that this can continue. I get a job getting paid $22 an hour at Getir. A day or two before I'm supposed to start working, the lady calls me back and says it's going to be 21 an hour instead of 22. I say, okay. Now they fire me because I went into preterm labor at 18 weeks and was hospitalized having a blood transfusion. Also, I had gotten pulled in because there were too many YouTube channels tagging the company in them, talking poorly about me. I have begged God. I have gone live and begged my audience, please stop. I can't take it anymore. I am harming myself, superficially cutting myself, isolating myself, or being isolated because of this constant abuse. I miss my children. I've never self-harmed before in my life. You people won't leave me alone. You're leaving me trapped outside, sometimes with no sleep or to sleep outdoors. I've been sexually assaulted multiple times. I've been robbed multiple times. I have 20 or 30 police reports on file. I've gone to the state's attorney in every county. Yet I still sit here with all of this unresolved. When this began in 2019, I had my own home and my own car. I satisfied my car loan 1 month later, and that was my very first loan that I've ever taken out besides school loans. 1 month after satisfying my car loan, my car was destroyed intentionally. Okay, destroyed. They followed me to a gated community and keyed the fuck out of it, and then they started mechanically destroying it after that, following me everywhere I was going. I was jumped and stabbed by a group of women 11 times with screwdrivers, 3 women. I was beaten over the head with a tire iron by a man, and I needed staples in the back of my head, 5 of them. I then traveled to Florida immediately following that tire iron attack because I was terrified, and police would not help me. All of it's connected, all of it. All of it begins and ends with Dylan. So now my children have been staying with their fathers since all of this began, even though I'm the primary custodial parent. I've been being bounced all over the place, Airbnbs, outside, hotels, random strangers' places, not given any choice. It's either survive or literally die in the street by myself alone. Like, those are the options that they're giving me. And survive looks pretty fucked up. It looks pretty fucked up, right? So I get a call back. Xavier and I are applying for the same jobs. I get a call back from Mariano's. I've never, ever, since graduating college. Now, mind you, I'm not a bougie. I've worked for minimum wage jobs since I was 14 years old. My first job was in a pizza place, and I needed a work permit to obtain that job. I've worked my entire youth and my entire adult life. Now, the only job I can get to call me back out of thousands of resumes submitted at a bachelor's degree, 7 years experience at Northwestern Hospital with nothing but positive recommendations and letters of recommendation, among all the other experience that I have, and modeling references, all types of shit. And the only call back I can get is from Mariano's to work for $12 an hour at the coffee stand on the south side, when my family and children live far as fuck on the north side, and you people destroyed my vehicle. So working for $12 an hour, even if I didn't spend a single dollar out of any one of my checks, I would need to work for a total of, get this, okay? Get this. On average, if I get a studio apartment, yes, a studio apartment in the city, on average is $1,000 for a studio apartment. And we're not talking Gold Coast. We're talking the entire city average, okay? A studio. I have 3 kids. A studio apartment, $1,000 a month. At Mariano's, how long would it take me after taxes at $12 an hour? How many hours would I need to work? I would need to work 10 fucking weeks without spending a dime. That means sleeping in a tent under the bridge for another 10 to 12 weeks without spending a penny of my paycheck to even be able to get into one of those studio apartments. That's no furniture. That's not replacing any of my clothing. That's not doing anything for my children. That's living in a tent under a bridge, spending not a single dollar. Saving every fucking check for first month's rent at $1,000 and my security deposit, which most likely would be $2,000 because I don't have good credit. I don't have any credit. I paid off my car loan and I'm behind on my student loans. They're in deferment. That's it. Other than that, I think I owe the cable company maybe $200 and possibly ComEd $200 or $300. And that's it.
Everyone owes the cable company.
Well, who doesn't? I mean, we're fucking struggling out here. My generation is hurting, okay? So with that in mind, knowing that for the most part of my life, I've been a pretty trustworthy, loyal, hardworking individual, a good mother who has sacrificed herself endlessly for her family and her children and the people who she loves, why do I have to beg not to be the sacrifice for 6 years, 8 years? We're at the 8-year, this began in 2015. We're in 2023 now. How much longer am I going to have to be publicly begging for assistance for someone to address the corruption and all of these situations that continue to go on? How much longer? You want me to believe that this is not a systemic issue. You're trapping me in the system. You're forcing me to collect welfare. You're forcing me. Why? So that you could say I owe you something, so that you can harm my family, so that you can do whatever fucked up shit it is you people do. Well, I don't want it. I want to work. I want to earn my own way, just like I have been my entire life. Xavier hasn't gotten a call back from any of the jobs that he's been applying to. None. So both of us are applying regularly. Both of us are creating NFTs to sell, can't get onto OpenSea. Both of us are trying to get into, again, cryptocurrency and NFT sales. They're blocking us from even signing up on the platforms. I'm signed up, they won't allow me to upload. If I have all of this intelligence, and I've proven time and time again that I can do any job almost that I'm presented with, how is it fair or desirable to anyone for me to continue to be oppressed, for my children to continue to wonder where their mom is? I lie to my children, which is not something I usually do. I lie to my children and tell them I'm fine when I am not fine. I lie to my children and tell them that I have a space when I don't have a space. Because how the fuck do I make my children understand the things that are going on? How do I explain to my children that I've been being targeted for 4 years? How do I explain to my children how it's humanly possible that their mother has been stabbed 11 times and jumped by 3 women and beaten by a guy and slapped by random fucking people and locked outside and forced to have sex with people she didn't want to and held against her will and starved and deprived of sleep for going on 4 years? And that law enforcement has done nothing to assist. How do I explain that to anyone's child without terrifying them? Without exposing the world for what it truly is? How? And so while I continue to move forward by, again, internalizing what I can, creating, trying to make the best of this time, trying to get rest, staying hopeful. Stephen Furtick from Elevation Church is a huge podcast for me, YouTube episode, however you consume the content. For me, it's a huge aid in assisting me. He said something the other day. He was like, the most faithful people are the most devastated when, they're dropped. Like, if I trust you to hold me, I'm not depending on you. I'm trusting you to hold me. You're the one with the agenda, and you're telling me, all right, I need to hold you to make my agenda work. And I'm like, no, it's cool. I got it on my own. And you're like, nope, I need to hold you to make my agenda work. It's for the greater good. And I'm like, bro, please, I want to go home to my kids. Set me down and leave me alone. I've got this on my own. And you're like, nope, not going to happen. I've got you. I'm holding you. You can trust me. And I have faith that you will not drop me. More faith than I've ever had in my life, because what other option do I fucking have at this point? And then you let me go and I drop and hit the floor. Those people who have the most hope, who have the most faith, they hurt the most. It destroys them the most. In the face of adversity. And I have been destroyed to pieces, over and over. And it's benefiting no one. It's surely not benefiting myself and my children having to be raised without a mom. And their father is being forced to work nights. So when the kids go to school during the day and their father is being forced to work night shift and their mother is being forced and oppressed to sleep under a fucking bridge, how do you explain that to 3 children, 3 innocent children? How do you make that make sense? You want me to ghostwrite? Fuck you. You haven't fucking paid me for the first 370 pages. I'm not writing shit for you. You want me to write? Pay me. Pay me. Oh, you don't want to pay me? Give me a safe place to live. Give me a car to drive. We can use the fucking barter system, but the stand on my neck and force work out of me system, that shit is not working for me anymore. I want a court date. I'm not asking for anything out of the ordinary that any other person would not be asking for. I have been so fucking abused. I don't want to fucking be a victim anymore. Please,